Shalom, it's Levi Shore. Welcome back to Swing Good Torah. So it's Tisha B'Av again. We're sitting on the floor. We're fasting. It's the culmination of 3 weeks of mourning the temple. Both temples. The first temple built by Shlomo HaMelech, built by King Solomon, was destroyed on the 9th of Av. And the second temple, built by Ezra and Nehemiah, was destroyed on the 9th of Av. And here we are again. And the Gemara tells us that the reason the temples were destroyed, or the second temple was destroyed, was because of sinas chinam. Just for hating each other for no reason. And can't this be the year we just start to fix it? I mean, how has the Yetzer Hara tricked us for this long? Is it so hard just to start being nice to each other? Just to start being nice to other Jews? I mean, and what's the big deal? Like, what, one Jew votes for a Republican, one Jew votes for a Democrat, and we have to be angry at each other, and we have to argue because of politics? It's just so silly. Or what are we arguing about? Because some Jews are more religious, or some Jews are less religious, or some Jews dress differently, or this or that, or any other reason we come up with. It's just not being nice to each other. How hard is it just to smile at our fellow Jews and be kind and ask how they're doing and ask about their families? We love playing Jewish geography. We love, because we're all one family. We're all descended from Abraham and Sarah, from Abraham and Sarah. We're all descended from Yitzhak and Rivka, from Isaac and Rebekah. We're all descended from Yaakov and Leah and Rachel, from Jacob and Leah and Rachel, and we're all from one big family. And maybe this can be the year we just say enough of this. Let's just start being nice to each other. It doesn't really matter how we're different. We're all in this together, and we're all one big family. It's amazing. It's like the Hebrew year is 5781. It's 2021. The temple, according to some opinions, was destroyed in 3829 on Tisha B'Av, on the 9th of Av. It means the temple's been destroyed for 1,952 years. So long. So long. And then the last year we've been locked in our homes with COVID-19. And it's so close to the Metzora, the person that had Saras, that was speaking Lashon Hara about other people. Like he was speaking badly about other people in the Jewish community. Hashem said, no, I want you to quarantine yourself outside the camps, outside the town, for 2 weeks, for 14 days. And it's exactly what happens if someone has COVID. They're quarantined for 14 days. And we've been locked away for a year. And Hashem's saying, he's yelling, he's screaming, just start being nice to each other. Just smile at each other, be nice to each other. I just want my children to get along with each other. And it's so fascinating, the word COVID is so close to the word kavod, just giving respect to each other. And then we've gone from tragedy to tragedy. We've seen this crazy tragedy in Meron on the day of life, on Lag BaOmer. We see people getting trampled. It's just crazy. And we see this platform fall down, in this big Hasidic gathering. And then Surfside, it's just crazy. We don't even understand what's going on. In North Miami Beach on Surfside, this building just collapses. This horrible tragedy. We go from one tragedy to the next. And then here we are again in Tisha B'Av. And it's time to just start being nice to each other. It's time to just start overlooking all this nonsense that the Yetzer Hara tells us, oh, don't like this Jew and don't like that Jew. We're one family. It's just time to start being nice to each other. And now we have the Delta variant. We have more COVID on the horizon, and maybe we'll get locked down again. And Hashem's saying, just be nice to each other. And what have we lost? It's been so long, it's hard to remember what it was like to have a Beis HaMikdash, to have a temple in Yerushalayim and Jerusalem. And we'd go there 3 times a year, and we would celebrate all the Chagim, all the festivals. We'd go there for Pesach, for Passover. And we'd camp around Jerusalem. And we'd go there and we'd count 49 days in the Omer, and we'd go there for Shavuos to celebrate when we stood at Mount Sinai and received the Torah. And when we were at Mount Sinai, we were Ish Echad Lev Echad. We were like one man with one heart. We were so united. We were so united before Hashem. We celebrate Sukkot, a beautiful holiday where we go out to our huts after we feel that the release of the kapara, that we, after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and we get kapara, we get forgiven by Hashem, and then we just have this festival of simcha, of joy, for 8 days of Sukkot, and we live in our sukkahs. And we used to actually live with the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah, the physical presence of Hashem, was in a pillar of cloud. And it was in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and the Holy of Holies on top of the Aron HaKodesh. And we could see it. We felt it. We felt Hashem's presence. And we had korbanos, and we could bring offerings. And it just connected us. The korbanos is the shoresh, the root of it is the word karev, kiruv, to bring us closer to Hashem. And the Torah and the mitzvahs bring us closer to Hashem. And then each family had a huge portion of the land of Israel. And our enemies were in other nations, and we had peace, we had shalom. And that's what we're so desperately missing. And the goal of it all is that Hashem will eventually send Mashiach. May it be so soon. We have a Melech that leads us and revitalizes us in learning Torah and doing the mitzvahs. And one of the main goals is to live with the presence of Hashem, but it's also to turn the Midbar, to turn the desert land of Eretz Yisrael back into Gan Eden, back into the Garden of Eden. And Garden Eden was there, where it was in the exact spot. The tree of life, the Eitz Chaim, was in the exact spot where the Kodesh HaKadoshim is in the Beis HaMikdash in the temple, where the Aron HaKodesh sits, where the Shemayim meets the Aretz, where the heavens meet, where the spiritual world meets the physical world, right at that spot where the Ark of the Covenant sat, and that's where the tree of life was. And our goal is to turn it all back. And in the Nevuah, the prophecy of Yechezkel, says it's going to be miraculous. It's going to be the most beautiful building we ever saw, a building of gold and silver and precious gems in Yerushalayim. It's going to be green and lush, and a wall of supernatural fire around it with gates to enter. And two mighty rivers are going to spring up from the spring underneath the Temple Mount. And one's going to go and purify the Dead Sea. And I don't know, if I read it correctly, one's going to go into the Mediterranean. And who knows, could you imagine a world with no salt in the ocean? It's just pure water, that everyone have plenty of water, everyone have plenty of food. And what we all really crave deep down is shalom, is peace. We say it's in our nature. When we see another Jew, we say shalom. When we say goodbye to another Jew, we say shalom. We're always wishing each other peace. When we haven't seen we haven't seen a friend for 30 days or a family member for 30 days, we say shalom aleichem, may peace be upon you. It's ingrained in us that we want peace. This is who we are. We're not a warlike people. We're people that wants peace. We want shalom. And that's the goal. And the goal is that we have shalom by us. We have shalom between our family and our friends. We have shalom in our communities. And we have shalom in our nation. We all start getting along with each other. And then it spreads to the whole world. When the Jewish people have shalom, when we're blessed with peace from Hashem, the rest of the world will see it. And eventually it will happen. And there will be this world peace that everyone craves. I don't know. I hope our hearts are open up today. We cry the tears for what we've lost, so that in the future we can sing and dance with tears of joy when we see us all, when we're all back, when we're gathered all back in Yerushalayim, when we have a Melech, we have a king again, we have a Sanhedrin, and we have a Beis HaMikdash to come to and celebrate 3 times a year. And we see the presence of Hashem living in our midst, and we see Eretz Yisrael become this beautiful Garden of Eden again. And then we see the shalom, the peace, spread to all the world. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.